helping to have that growth mindset and be in a positive mindset helps to build your confidence as you go about your job search. And there's a number of different ways to do that. So I'll just quickly go through some of these. One is to create what I call a learn list. So again, this is something I recommend to clients who've been impacted by redundancy. And a learn list can include things that are both practical, more job related, but also fun, right? Like a pottery class, or you want to get a digital marketing certificate. So starting to write that learn list and starting to check things off of it can help to shift you out of that fixed mindset into a more growth mindset as you're learning new skills. Writing down your accomplishments is also a really good activity to help to rebuild that confidence. So think back to your previous roles, your performance reviews that you had with your manager, some of your big projects that you delivered, and write those down and spend that time to reflect in each of your previous roles. Because what happens is we tend to forget. The further away we move from different roles, we forget about all of the various things that we did there. So spending this time to reflect and write down accomplishments can help quite a lot. Identify your support team. So the job search process can sometimes feel really lonely. So everyone says looking for a job is like a full-time job. That can be true. And there's a lot of ups and downs, right? As you saw from that previous circular diagram. But if you find your support team, people like a mentor, a friend, your partner, a coach, these are people who you can say, you know what, I'm going through this process. I need help. I need accountability. Can we maybe check in once every 2 weeks so that I make sure I stay on track? Right? So finding that support team who's going to be able to be there for you really helps to make the job search less painful. Don't worry about taking a break. So again, during this time, a lot of people will may have a space on their resume, either because they've been made redundant, their companies have closed, whatever it may be. Don't worry about that too much at this point in time. So a lot of people will come to me and say, oh, I've got a 6-month gap on my resume. How am I going to get a job again? The whole world knows what's happening, right, with the COVID-19 pandemic. Employers understand, and employers are flexible about this time frame. And be very, very cautious and mindful of the language that you're using here when you talk about this time. Right? You don't necessarily want to talk about it being a gap or you've dropped out of the workforce, because that's all very negative language. So think about this as a positive time, right, where you're doing things like creating your learn list, writing down your accomplishments, learning new skills, etc. And then finally, I recommend this to a lot of my clients, keep a brag file. So a brag file is something that is a just informal record of all of those great things that you have done and are doing. So if a client sends you an email with good feedback, or you deliver a project 1 week before deadline, or you get great feedback in your performance review, just tuck that away for yourself. So I recommend doing this in whatever medium works best for you. So writing it down in a notebook or recording an audio file on your phone, whatever it is, so that it's something that you can go back and revisit during the challenging times, right? So that you have something to remind yourself of all these amazing things that you've done. So these are a couple of tips to help you with sort of shifting that mindset and building up your confidence as you prepare for your job search.